Hello and welcome to ICS Arabia. Today's episode we have a special guest Rakesh Kumar. He is the regional manager of ACET Solutions. Welcome, Rakesh.
Thank you so much, Suleiman. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings to the audience of ICS Arabia.
Welcome. Uh, I've met Rakesh, if you remember, in the last webinar in the ICE Institute, and it was a nice webinar. Thank you, Rakesh, for inviting me for this webinar. It was really, really powerful and useful.
My pleasure.
And before we jump into OT security topic or talk about anything else, let's get to know you, Rakesh. Why don't you tell us a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure, Suleiman. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to ICS Arabia. About Rakesh, basically, Rakesh is an engineer by choice, sales by profession, and entrepreneur by passion. This is what is Rakesh. What role I'm doing? I'm presently the regional manager in ACET Solution, where I'm driving the business of OT cybersecurity in UAE, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, and Iraq. Altogether, I'm having 18 years of experience in industrial automation, where the initial 16 years I spent in building the automation control system, whether it's PLC, SCADA, and all those things. And last 2 years, I'm helping my client to secure those industrial automation system. This was a quick
Nice,
one about me.
nice. So you come from engineering background, electrical engineer, right? So you played with the devices and you experimented with the devices. You know them all by heart. Then time to secure them. I can tell.
Yes.
Nice, nice. Okay. So 18 years, Rakesh, that's been a while. I mean, so tell us about the story of OT security. Well, I mean, you spent most of your time in the OT, just OT, no security. What made you switch to security? What's the
So
story?
actually, I will tell you my story first, my journey, and then I'll tell you how did I came to this OT cybersecurity world. So it started in 2007 when I was about to pass out from my graduation, where I was doing my electrical engineering. So during my last year, it was a coincidence that I picked up a project for my last year, which was related to PLC control system. It was a project which was based on the PLC control system. And then at that time, uh, I had no clue about PLC. During my last year of graduation, I learned about PLC, the logics, the switch gears, the cables, push button, and so many things. And which actually finally I landed to my job, uh, which was into industrial automation. It was a system integrators who was business in industrial automation field. And gradually, like right from 2007 onwards, when I joined this automation company, I worked on various different domains, which includes oil and gas, water, manufacturing sector, pharma, chemicals, metals, and so many things. When it comes to the region, I spent initial 4 years in India in the same company, and then I came to UAE. They have a branch in Middle East, and I was taking care of this branch business for that company. Uh, During my journey, industrial automation was the few projects what we have done. Out of those, many were for discrete automation, and many were for process automation. So I have learned a lot in my previous journey. What I have been working with in this company, what I've been delivered to the customer, it's PLC panel, RTUs, SCADA, DCS, and it has extended to other automation components like MCC panels, LV, MV panels, even e-house packages, fire and gas panels, and so many things. So why I'm telling this, when we were working on these all these packages, we had a vast and detailed knowledge of this industrial operations. And during this journey, also I did my MBA in marketing. Everything was going fine till this COVID time. During this COVID time, I got an opportunity to think what new. At that time, I was having three things which was buzzing around the world: artificial intelligence, data science, and cybersecurity. And I told you that I'm not from IT background. So for me, AI was strikeout, data science was strikeout, cybersecurity was something which is little bit near to my experience. So I thought, anyway, I spent a lot of time in OT. Let me pick. Then finally, after going through a lot of free webinars, YouTube videos, I landed to do my masters from University of West London, Masters of Cybersecurity, and that's how I finally landed into this world of OT cybersecurity and working in asset solution now.
Interesting journey. Funny enough, COVID time made many people start new hobbies and many new ideas and projects. Many people I talked to, the COVID era made something or affected them in some way, mostly good, and or changed direction. Myself included, I've touched some new topics during the COVID as well. But I was still in the IT or cybersecurity. I didn't go far, but I experimented with other things. But unlike you, I experimented with AI. So I'm still following AI and seeing how far it goes and what's the effect of AI on the world and on OT as well. So let's see. Also, I'm IT background. I'm not OT like you, so maybe we can see the different angles, different sides while we discuss now. Sure. I mean, I heard you once say iceberg of OT cybersecurity. I'm not sure if you were the first one who said it, but what do you mean by iceberg of OT cybersecurity?
Well, probably, maybe I'm maybe the first or second one who's talking about iceberg of OT cybersecurity. But when we talk about experiencing this topic, almost everyone who is into this field has experienced this thing. That actually OT cybersecurity is an iceberg. I'll explain you. Let me talk about a situation. When we see a actual, let's visualize what is an iceberg. When icebergs is in water, you see only 10% of the iceberg above the water, and rest 90% is below the water. And this is exactly about OT cybersecurity. People only see 10% of the things uh, when it comes to OT cybersecurity. Uh, Most of the people, they will just talk about firewall, antivirus, patching, and that's it, done. But the real risk, the real complexity, it lies beneath. It's into physical process, legacy system, understanding safety logics, protocols. Actually, the protocols that were never designed with security in mind, like Modbus, DNP3, for example, and compliance versus actual resilience gaps, and decades of engineering. So all this thing lies within the layer beneath what people doesn't see. So this is I call uh, iceberg of OT cybersecurity.
All right. So I'm sure I'm gonna agree with you. I mean, OT or cybersecurity in general, like they mention, also they use the term sometimes defense of depth, but I'm sure it's not the same as iceberg, but because defense in depth represent layers, but iceberg may be more than just layers. It's about like you said, complexity and hard work and time and effort and experience and sophistication maybe. So I mean, I'm gonna go outside of the what we're gonna ask you next. Do you think I mean products, the existing products now, they apply this? Do they really offer you solution that consider depth and considers really add value similar to the iceberg example that you mentioned? What's your view on the current OT solutions and products and services?
All right. Thank you so much for asking this question. This is very important question. First of all, when it comes to OT cybersecurity, many people, what they do, they throw these boxes, firewalls, antivirus, and understand that the OT cybersecurity is done. No, it's not done. Uh, with relating to this iceberg, which I was mentioning just now, you know, when it comes to OT cybersecurity iceberg, it needs four capabilities to understand the whole iceberg. First capability is understanding industrial automation. Basically, what is PLC, what is HMI, SCADA, protocols, which protocols basically the HMI is talking to the PLC and to the third party devices. Understanding everything is the first capability. Second thing is understanding cybersecurity, the basic cybersecurity as a, like for example, intrusion detection, intrusion prevention, antivirus, multi-factor authentication, so many things. So this is the second capability. Third thing is, okay, now you have understood PLC, now you have understood cybersecurity. Third thing is to understand the process, industrial process. See, when it's cybersecurity, the way we think to implement the cybersecurity solution for a refinery is not the same for a water and not the same for a pharma.
Mhm.
So, understanding industrial process, that's the third capability should one should have to understand the whole iceberg. And last and the most important thing is understanding the IT and OT integration.
Mhm.
So when we have this four capability, we will be able to see the whole iceberg, and that's how we are going to secure the critical infrastructure. While in this case, what's happening? You asked me a question that how whether there are any providers, service providers, or any organizations who provide support for these things, OT cybersecurity. But what
Mhm.
I've seen, many people, what they do, they just work on this 10% of visible parts of this iceberg. They talk about asset discovery, they talk about patching, firewalls, and that's it. Because the purpose is just to pass the compliance, not actually securing it. But
Mhm.
if the purpose is actually securing it, then we need to talk about network architecture flaw, for example.
Mhm.
We need to talk about insecure remote access paths. We need to understand the legacy device risk, because in our industry still there are PLC which are like, I would say 25, 30 years plus working in a factory. There are operator working station which is like maybe Windows NT time, which is the OEM is not supporting those OS till now. This is what is the reality of industries. So we have
Mhm.
to understand the legacy device risk, and most importantly the process level impact of a cyber impact. So all these things is required to basically understand the iceberg of OT cybersecurity. That was my take.
I get it. So you just mentioned the word risk. They have to understand risk. Could you give us a real example, real world example of risk, or and how you tackled it?
uh, Yeah, I will just tell you a story. It take a little bit time, but yeah, let me try to recall and I'll try to tell you a story, which personally I've been through, and I'll tell you what kind of invisible risk is there in while we are walking through a journey of OT cybersecurity. So basically, we were called by uh, a major refinery, and the task they have told us is to replace just two network switches. And in anyone's opinion, how much time it will take? Maybe 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Sounds simple, right? Just changing two switches. But uh, they were they weren't just any switches. These two switches were deeply embedded in plant's OT environment, meaning they were connected to PLC, the SCADA, the DCS they have. In fact, the entire refinery's nervous system. So a wrong move could mean serious downtime or maybe worst safety incidents. So what we have done, we didn't started the job immediately. We took a pause before taking action. What we did, we tried to investigate what all things are connected to these switches, what alarms are triggered through them, what are the impact of taking them offline, even for a minute. What are the impact? So basically, we carried out a risk assessment, uh, identifying the threats, the consequences. We built some contingency and rollover plans, ensure that every risk has a mitigation strategy. And finally, after weeks and months of hard work, we were ready for that day to switch the old switches with the new switches. And we have done it in exactly 6 hours from there. And the job was flawless, no downtime, no false alarm, and no safety compromise. So this was a story which I want to tell you that basically once we understand the things in deep, we will understand the risk associated with the topic.
Interesting, interesting. Um, I mean, was your client or your client, your customer, who you did this service for, did he request that, or what? Did he knew in advance that you're gonna tackle it the way you did, or is it just your approach by informing him how you do it?
So this is very good question. Actually, what's happening is most of the time when it comes to the end user, they are also not aware which uh, path they should follow. So it is very important for us to step in, sit with them, sit on their side of the table, understand their problem, make the whole roadmap, and then implement the solutions. So this is what we have done exactly. We understood the problem. I know we could have done, okay, we'll change the switch. You gave us a purchase order. I'll change the switch, and that's it. And we would have raised our hands. But this is not what my company do.
Mm-hmm.
We work with them. We understand their problem, and then we help. We believe in solving the customer problem, and after that, we got a lot of business from the same end users.
I see. Interesting. Um, I mean, I come from IT, like I said, and as you know, the IT people or the cybersecurity in general, they focus on chasing vulnerabilities. I think that mindset shifted to the OT cybersecurity people. Somehow, it's good. It's like an infection somehow, and we started to focus on. This has CVE, this has vulnerability, so many CVEs, so many vulnerabilities for this PLC. You gotta patch them, you gotta watch out, and there is a big voice in OT security to say to stop that. I mean, saying to stop that, stop doing this. What's your opinion on this, and how do you really choose which vulnerability or to focus on or not?
Thank you so much, Leman, for bringing this point. This is a very important point when we talk of IT and OT. In OT, I would say that not every vulnerability have equal risk. That's what we have to understand in OT. Uh, in OT, rather than the vulnerability, we have to also understand the cyber physical context of it. Let me explain you this thing in through an example. A component might be flagged as a vulnerable in some kind of display or dashboard, but we have to understand whether it really poses a danger. We should ask this question. Okay, in my cyber physical process, are there any limit switches, breakers, which can stop this dangerous movement? Or probably is there any overpressure valve that prevents an explosion? If the answer is yes, the risk is low, even though its vulnerability has been flagged, but the risk is low. Uh, Through this example, I would also like to say, if you want to work in OT cybersecurity, you need more knowledge than networks and exploits. You know, more than this, what we have to understand, we have to read electrical diagrams, we have to understand the PNIDs, and we have to know when the risk is truly it's critical, and when it just looks scary on a dashboard. We have to differentiate between these two things. So basically we have to be process aware, not just a tool aware, when it comes to understanding the vulnerability.
Okay, got it. So your view is to focus on the real impact and the real risk that this vulnerability can cause. Otherwise, I mean, it's up to the organization whether to focus on it or you just ignore it. Or okay, got it. Looking at the MITRE attack and the MITRE metrics and the ICS, I can see they study the techniques of famous attack groups, APTs and such, and they teach their skill, the techniques, the tactics, and how so defenders can learn from those against those attacks and risks. Can you do you think the those attacks, the attacks on critical infrastructure, I mean, they're not just about stealing data or money or being inside the network or attacking those critical infrastructure. Do you think there are more motives other than monetary and just hacking? Do you think geopolitics play into this?
Absolutely, Suleiman. What my take on this is basically, in past the motive was maybe the money, but now it has taken a different turn. Cyber attacks today are often a part of geopolitical conflicts. You know, critical infrastructure like power grids or maybe water system are the first frontline targets. Take example of a recent case, maybe in 2014 or 15 somewhere. 15, yeah. So it was Ukraine's power grid attack. Which has basically caused widespread blackouts. So it has shown the real world impact of cyber warfare. Okay, let's not go too much past now. Talking recently about this Iran Israel case, there were a lot of reports of cyber disruption on water system, ports, on maybe critical logistic infrastructure. So these attacks are now, I believe, no longer just a theft or a financial gain. They are more about disruption, strategic influence, and maybe creating some leverage through this warfare. So that's why I would say OT cybersecurity is just not an IT issue, but it is a national security priority. And what I we do is that we help our customers to build the resilience systems that can withstand even the advanced and politically motivated attacks.
Got it. That's not to say that there are no groups are hacking for the money. There are, of course, the groups are hacking for money, but maybe you find them more in the IT network. Most of these attacks happen in the IT networks where they throw their ransomware and ask for money. But the groups that really go deep into a network that requires a lot of techniques and resources and skills, and it's not as simple as going into the IT, unless I mean you have a PLC exposed to the internet. That's different, but that's different case. So yeah, I mean most of the attackers who really apply, not apply it, but it can be analyzed in the eyes on the lens of kill chain, cyber kill chain. That has two stages. Most of those attackers, the sophisticated ones, they're not just after the money, because I'm sure it's more than that. So let's go back to where we started, Rakesh. You remember I said thank you for inviting me for the ICE Institute, and I didn't expect so many people to come and to attend the webinar. There's so many people, like hundreds, and there was quite good atmosphere I witnessed, because while I was talking, I was seeing the comments and the audience interactions. What made you think about, or is the institute a new idea, or did it exist before, or what's the idea behind ICE Institute?
Well, thank you so much for asking me this question, because
Sure.
why this IC has started. So I was mentioning you in the starting that the journey which I've been through initially when I was planning to switch from automation to OT cybersecurity. At the time, I didn't get any proper guidance, like which path should I walk, what courses should I talk, and which all topics I should gather information, where I should have hands on. So all this information was not with me. So uh, at this moment, after coming to this part of the world in OT cybersecurity, I thought the pain which I have gone through, the struggle which I have gone through, the new generation, the new people coming up into OT cybersecurity, they should not face the same problem. So with that intention, we have started this ICE, Institute of Cybersecurity Excellence, with one belief that there are three things: people, process, and technology. Staying in my company, I am working to improve the process and technology, to secure the process and technology. But what about the people? People are the weakest link. uh, you have seen many time example through phishing or through some kind of social engineering. There are a lot of hacking going on. So that is why I would say training is very critical, and that's why IC was made. So what the purpose of IC is that basically we want to offer scenario based a hands-on OT cybersecurity training and certification. So this practical trainings build a real world readiness for both, meaning for the people who are implementing this OT cybersecurity solution in the industry. That's one. And this training is also for the end user who owns the asset, whose responsibility is to make the asset secured. So that's what I see. By the way, when you talk about this last session, what we have taken, after that, I got a feedback from end user that after this session, when a couple of people from that company have attended this, after this, they have a 50% reduction in their phishing incidents.
Wow, amazing.
So think of such kind of training as a training for a firefighter before the fire. So we have to prepare the engineers, whether they are coming from IT or OT or maybe transitioning in between, to save life and to save the critical assets. That's why the IC is born.
That's very nice, Rakesh, and thank you for your establishing this institute to cover this pain point that you experienced before, and you don't want the current people, the current professionals, to suffer from again, and get the education, free education. That's really valuable. Thank you for that. And the guests that you really interviewed, oh, sorry, the guests that you invited, they were really respected in the area, and such as Shiv and Zakhar, and they're really active in the OTC security.
Absolutely, absolutely. They have huge experience.
Yes. Um, so what's your plan in the institute? Any future plans? I mean, you're gonna do these webinars regularly, or will you cover more in-depth courses? Maybe. What's the plan of this institute?
So in IC, maybe not maybe it's 100% confirmed that in the month of August, for example, we'll be having one more such similar session where we'll be deep diving to the topics of OT cybersecurity, and then we will do it in consecutive 2 months. This detailed deep dive sessions, and in between what I'm trying to bring is that some hands-on experience, like for example this month itself we have a coming up some kind of hands-on session.
Right.
So this is what we will keep on doing it till the time people are getting educated and they are coming to a certain level and they are able to see the iceberg of OT cybersecurity, I would say. But my message to the people who are coming to IC is that, you know, go, let's say, understanding the OT cybersecurity through a theoretical way will not make you understand the iceberg as a whole. So you have
Mhm.
to make your hands dirty. We have
Yeah.
to build virtual labs. We have to make the actual scenarios, simulation, and so many things. That's what my
Mhm.
suggestion is, that in the upcoming sessions, when there is a hands-on, please join and try to understand the whole iceberg of OT cybersecurity.
Okay, because you are a sales manager, and I'm sure you have lots of experience in sales, and you understand the market maybe more than the technical people who don't do sales. Maybe you see a bigger picture than the technical people, because technical people like hackers or analysts, they only want to fight the attackers and focus on that and the controls and the coding or whatever. But you guys, I mean, the business, especially the C level and the, like you said, you said the entrepreneur and the salespeople, they understand a different language and the different skills, and they see the OT security differently than the technical people. How do business people, sales managers, salespeople see OT security? How do you view it? Like, let's experience how you look at this world. Could you tell us?
So when we from a person who is into business side of this kind of business field, OT cybersecurity, they see a holistic view,
Mm.
not only the present, what is coming in the future, what are the challenges. And many times we have been encountered with questions like, okay, whatever we are going to invest in this OT cybersecurity journey, what is the ROI on that?
Mhm.
So this holistic approach is being seen from my perspective when I talk about this OT cybersecurity in general to the customers.
All right.
We also try to see what's coming up in future
Mm.
when we go to a journey next.
Mm. Okay. So, how do you look at the current new solutions and trends that's coming to the market, like AI and cloud and the big vendors, they're moving to the cloud? How do you, from your perspective as a sales manager or regional manager, about this? How do you view this? Do you think they are threat? Do you think they are challenging? Do you think they don't? They won't add value?
My take here is that AI is going to benefit this topic, OT
Mm.
cybersecurity. But important thing is that, as I was talking about this iceberg, the things which are below the basic, the legacy system, securing them, the basics will remain same. The AI will be coming on top of it to improve the efficiency. For example, to basically, let's say, threat detection in a faster way, doing the jobs automatically.
Mm.
So that's what I would say, that things like AI will help OT cybersecurity for automation, meaning
Mm.
things can happen automatically, like detecting and responding to threats and all these things. That's what I see the future when I talk about AI. Um, and also, I would like to touch one thing here. As we go forward, the regulatory frameworks that are been
Yeah.
becoming stricter across the worldwide. So there is an increasing need of compliance across the world. So this is also, I would say, the need for the market.
I got it. What about the cloud? You didn't tell me about the cloud.
Yeah, in my opinion, in this region, what we are working, uh, everyone prefers to have on-premises solution. My personal belief, probably I may be wrong, but if I am the end user side, I would like to keep everything in my premises under my control. I would not go for cloud. That's my take on it. But don't know about the future, how the things going to happen. Probably when the end user is satisfied with the answer that cloud options is are also equally secure, then like on premises, probably things will start moving to cloud. But now, for now, I see that, yeah, things are not moving in that direction. People still believe in on premises solution. By the way,
Okay. Yeah.
uh,
Sure.
of this clouds and I would also like to touch uh, topic for some financial things. When the market size of OT cybersecurity. Uh, if I would like, if I will ask you to guess that presently what is the market size and what will it will be after 5 years, then roughly you have any idea how much it is going to grow in 5 years?
No clue.
Great, no problem. That's why I would like to bring this point to many people's who are your audience and listen to this, that OT cybersecurity market is going to double in next 5 years. Presently, let me pull the numbers. Presently, globally, it's $27 billion of business in OT cybersecurity, and when we talk just 5 years, after 5 years, it will be $62 billion. So these are some commercial numbers which audience should know about, that
Mm.
the OT cybersecurity market is going to grow. So we have to invest time into it. We have to invest time because the customer needs the quality, and actually we have to secure these critical infrastructures.
Nice. So what you're saying is there is a hope in the OT security market because some people think it will shrink and it will go away and it will be part of the IT cybersecurity world and no more OT security. But you're saying that no, it will grow.
It is going to definitely grow. Maybe I would say that you know uh, we are not competing. We being from OT cybersecurity, we are not competing with IT. In fact, we have to join our hands to make the solution uh, more feasible
Yeah,
and more effective.
totally agree. Okay, so you are based in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
And you work with Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries. How do you see the OT cybersecurity market in the Gulf area? Is it growing? Is it shrinking? Is it are the asset owners interested to buy OT cybersecurity services and products? Tell us about the market for somebody who is maybe in the West now or in America and he wants to know. And sometimes they ask me, how is the OT market in Kuwait and Dubai? So I'm sure you are the right person they should ask. How is the
Yeah.
market?
I would say that OT cybersecurity market is growing as well in Gulf and Middle East. And when we talk particularly about these things, we're actually talking about critical infrastructure. So you know the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, right? So considering those facts, it's very important to secure the critical infrastructure. That is why oil and gas, which is the major source of revenue in this region, power and water. These three sectors are definitely to go for at OT cybersecurity. Okay, uh, someday or other, because of these reason, and also because probably the government is going to put the regulatory requirements in place. All such infrastructure has to be secured, and actually secured, and the compliance wise also. So here I have a very good, I would say a very helpful message to the people from your audience who are the asset owners. I will name some challenges which probably your audience, the asset owners, would be facing. And if any one of your audience is having any of these pains, do let me know. I have a solution for it. For example, if you have shortage of experienced or knowledge OT talent, for example, this is your challenge. Or if your organization is very large and you have distributed control system across the plant, or if you have a lack of visibility of assets, or maybe fragmented governance and risk management is your challenge, or if you see the compliance management tracking and inefficient audit readiness is your problem, then I have a solution for them. It is basically an AI enabled platform for digital transformation of OT cybersecurity. So I'll not touch this topic in an open forum. Maybe when it is required, I'll talk one to one with the people who are having these actual pains.
Interesting, interesting. So there you go. If you have any question, if you have any pain issue with OT security or challenge, then you can reach Rakesh and his LinkedIn. I will link it below. What about other factories and manufacturers in the Gulf? I mean, there are food factories, there are you name it, chemical factories, other factories. I'm sure they have OT in it, but they don't have maybe the capability of oil companies and the power because then they mostly private companies, small business owners, or medium size. Have you dealt with them? Do they really have they do they do OT cybersecurity from your experience in the Gulf or in Dubai? Tell us
So
about this portion. Yeah.
I would say that small manufacturing units who have
Mm.
couple of standalone PLC systems, or maybe a mid range of manufacturing industry, I would say that it's not about their capability to implement OT cybersecurity. I would say their risk appetite. Meaning, if the plant is down for a day, what are the consequences? If the answer is $1 million or maybe $1 billion, then of course someone has to put that system in place. But the answer is, no, we can manage it, no problem. Then probably the answer is no, they would not invest in OT cybersecurity. But yeah, when it comes to the second point, the second aspect about the regulatory authorities, probably in that case, some basic, I would advise such manufacturing industry that start with small steps. Step one, understand and have a visibility to your network. How many PLC system are you having? How many operator works? How many engine station? Have a visibility of your asset. That's step number one. And then use some basic cybersecurity control, put some firewalls, antivirus. And with this basic, you're secured because your risk appetite is more. So that is my take on manufacturing industries across this region.
Speaking of regulatory, also let's not forget the very important industry that is pharmaceutical. They have pharmaceutical factories in Saudi and Emirates, and in Kuwait we have one. So I'm sure it's there is a strict regulatory against them. Not sure about cybersecurity, but I'm sure maybe from your experience, yeah.
When I was in industrial automation, at that time, I worked a lot with pharma. Uh,
Okay,
Time onwards, specifically in pharma industry, the requirements are stringent when it comes to the manufacturing process from that perspective. From OT, yes, they are one of the first people who are investing in OT cybersecurity, who are planning to implement uh, this type of cybersecurity solutions into their plant. Uh, regarding the pharma, I would say they are the first one of the first one who are also implementing this kind of solutions in their plants.
cool, interesting. So I think we've covered many points and very interesting chat, Mr. Rakesh. It's been a pleasure. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts and advice you would like to share about anything you have in mind?
Yeah,
Please.
Mr. Liman, you know what I would like to say that the closing lines will be like OT cybersecurity is now no longer a nice to have thing. It's a mission critical now. Users should remember this. The cost of prevention is always lower than the cost of disruption. Sorry. Yeah. So, my general advice to the people who are going to listen to this is that, try to look deeper. Don't stop at the surface of this iceberg. Understand the process, understand the equipment, the consequence, and everything in detail. Second, build bridges. OT and IT teams need to collaborate, not compete. Third thing, to the people or to the end users or to the asset owners, don't chase the buzzwords. Focus on contextual risk, not just a dashboard with some fancy red alerts and green alerts. Last one, uh, for example, for this manufacturing industry who have a little bit more risk appetite and such kind of things, that start small but start smart. Whether it's a risk assessment or a training or just a visibility, the key is to start somewhere. uh, Last thing, the closing statement, I would say that a little bit about me, that when it comes to OT cybersecurity, where you want to add some value, please contact me. We just we don't just drop in with a tool or a checklist. We will walk with you in the plan. We will read your PNID. We will understand your automation architecture. We will talk to your control engineers, and We will co-design a roadmap that fits your operation and security requirement. That's all.
Excellent, excellent, Mr. Rakesh. And you can get a discount from ICS Arabia if you want to get any service from Rakesh. No,
For sure.
I'm just
No,
joking.
no, it's not a joke. We have to join hands together someday, and it's both of our responsibility to secure the critical infrastructure, and that's what we will do. Yeah, but there is a discount for the people who will be coming through ICS Arabia to me.
There you go. I didn't mean it. I just said it. But he's a nice guy. He's the manager. Okay. Thank you, Rakesh. Like Rakesh said, start small, and that's how the momentum will follow up. Don't think about the complicated things. Don't make it complicated. Just start. Eventually, you will accomplish something. I hope you enjoyed my talk with Engineer Rakesh. I really had fun with him, and I hope you too. Thank you for watching this episode, and take care. Bye.
Goodbye, audience.